My name is Clara. I'm 55 years old. I worked for a very rich family in a big, beautiful house many years ago. The rooms were big and bright. There were lots of flowers in the grounds, and the furniture was soft and classy. That house felt like something out of a dream in every way. Martin was the name of the dad, Helen was the mother, and Thomas was their son. I loved my job there. I cleaned every room, swept the floors, and wiped down the windows. I also helped out in the kitchen. I felt right at home from the first day. I thought I would stay for a long time and be happy. The family had a lot of lovely things. Every wall had an old picture, a golden lamp, or a fine silver dish. She loved everything in the house, but there was one thing she loved the most, a beautiful gold watch that belonged to her grandmother. She wore it every single day. It was close to her heart, and she took care of it like it was alive. When I cleaned her room, I was always careful with it. I knew it meant a lot to her. Then things changed one morning. Helen lost her gold watch. She looked in the yard, the kitchen, the hallway, and her bedroom. Martin was asked. Thomas was the one she asked. She then came to me. I told her the truth. I hadn't seen it. But her eyes were calm and quiet when she looked at me. I could feel that something had changed between us. Things got worse that afternoon. He called me into the living room. His voice was careful and stiff. Helen stood next to him with her arms crossed. Thomas took a quick look through the door. Martin told me that they needed to trust each other, but were not sure anymore. He told me I should leave. I had something to say. I tried to explain, but I couldn't find the words. It was quiet as I packed my small bag. My hands were shaking. I didn't look back as I left that big house. I sat down on the sidewalk outside with my bag on my lap. I had no idea where to go. People didn't even look at me as they walked by. It was cold outside and the sky was gray. Thomas was laughing in the kitchen, I thought. I remembered Helen humming as she put roses in a vase. I thought about the house I had just lost, the safety and love of it. I also thought about how they thought I was a thief, even though all I had done for them was be honest and care. As the day came to an end, I closed my eyes. I found a wooden bench near a small park when the sun went down. It was dark, and I was too tired to cry or sad to sleep. It hurt my back. My coat wasn't thick enough. My mind kept going back to the same painful places. I was stiff and cold when I woke up the next morning. I bought a small bread roll at a cafe near the market with the last few coins I had in my pocket. Behind the desk, the woman looked at my dirty coat and hair and didn't say anything. I ate slowly while sitting by the window. I walked around the market for the rest of the day and asked store owners if they needed any help. Some people just shook their heads. A man told me to go on. I kept going. Even though my feet hurt, I didn't stop, afraid I would sit down and never get up again. I had to keep moving. After work that night, I took another break near the park. Someone called my name. I looked up. A woman in a long coat was running quickly towards me. Her hair was tangled and she had a red face. It was Helen. Her hand held something small and gold that caught the last of the evening's light. My heart sped up a lot. She reached out and put out her hand. She held the gold watch in her hand. She was out of breath. She told me that they had found it, but her voice was shaking. It got lost behind the big couch in the living room. They didn't find it until they moved the furniture to clean under it. It had always been there. She looked at me with red eyes and told me she was really, truly sorry. I looked at the time. I saw her face. I had a lot of feelings at once. happy that my record was clear, sad about the days I had lost, and not sure what else to call it. It made me sad that trust had been broken so quickly and totally. She told me to come back. She told him he should feel bad about himself. She said Thomas had been sad every night and asked for me every morning. She told me that my bed and table seat were still in my room. I did not move. You can't just fix a broken cup back together when you trust someone. It can be fixed, but the crack will always be there. She spoke again, but this time she was quieter. She said it was okay if I couldn't come back. It was her only wish for me to know the truth. She then put the watch back in her pocket and used the back of her hand to wipe her cheek. I gave her a long look. Then I took my bag, gave myself a small shake, and got up to walk. Once more, she called my name. I didn't go back. I walked for a while without knowing where I was going. I just kept going forward and let my feet take me somewhere new. Then I saw a small bakery with a warm, bright light in the window. Inside, a woman was putting bread loaves in bags. She moved in a smooth and easy way. She was making a noise to herself. I stopped because of something about her. I opened the door. A small bell rang above me. The woman raised her head and smiled. A real big, slow smile. The air was filled with the smell of fresh bread. Ora was her name. She and her husband George ran the bakery. She looked at my small bag, my tired eyes, and my clothes that were all wrinkly. Not a single question was asked. She did nothing when I told her I was looking for work and could help with people, clean and carry things. She was quiet for a while. She then said yes. I was shown a small room in the back of the kitchen. It had a sky view window, a small table, and a narrow bed. It wasn't great, it wasn't pretty, but it was mine, warm, safe, and secure. I laid down on the bed and took deep breaths. I felt something open up in my chest for the first time in days. Every morning I worked hard. Before dawn, I swept the floor, scrubbed the tables, and buffed the glass in the display case until it sparkled. She told me I was quick and careful. Every morning before I went to work, George gave me a warm roll with butter. They never said anything mean to me. They never seemed to be wary of me. They just trusted me, and that faith helped me grow again. Nora sat with me one night after the store closed. She asked me why I was in this shop. I told her a little. There was the big house, the lost watch, and the night on the bench. With her hands in her lap, she listened. She said something to me that I will never forget when I was done. When bad people make mistakes, they hurt good people. That's one of the terrible things about life. You are still the same person. Weeks went by. There were more people in the kitchen. When people came in, I taught them how to set up the window show, greet regulars by name, and wrap loaves in brown paper with a neat ribbon. It was smart of me to save my pay. I started to have small, positive thoughts. One day I'll have my own room. It could even be a small business. As I cleaned the window from the inside one afternoon, I saw them across the street. Thomas walked close to the sidewalk while holding someone's hand. Helen stood next to him and looked at the shop with a quiet, doubtful look on her face. Through the glass, our eyes met for a split second. Thomas waved at me with his little hand up. Ellen smiled in a sad way. The crowd then moved and they were gone. I stayed at the window for a long time. I considered going after them. I almost called them names, but I didn't. I had changed. In this warm kitchen, the girl who had left that big house was not the same person. Now I had something I didn't have before, a life I had made from scratch. I went back to work after getting my cloth. There was a letter on the table for me one morning. Helen carefully wrote my name on the front of the card. I slowly opened it. Thomas was in her writing. She wrote about how she still felt bad about what she had done. It said in the letter that Martin also felt bad. A sweetheart asked if I could come over one day for tea and to talk. I kept the letter for a long time. I told Nora that night. After hearing me, she just looked at me and said, "Clara, follow your heart." All night I thought about it. By morning, I knew what I was going to do. I put on my best dress. I was careful as I brushed my hair. Those two people heard me. They smiled and waved me off because I was going to be gone all day. I went to the big house on foot. I stood at the gate and took slow, deep breaths for a few minutes. After that, I rang the bell. The door was opened by Helen. She moved out of the way to let me in without saying a word. Thomas jumped down the hall and wrapped his arms around me. I hugged him close and let the tears fall quietly. We were outside in the yard. Helen made some tea. I liked the drawings Thomas showed me. He talked about school and the frog he found in the yard pond. She asked about the bakery, Nora and George, and my small room. She paid close attention. She looked open, sorry, and warm all at the same time. As the sun went down, I got up to leave. Ellen asked me to stay for dinner. I told her no and thanked her. I had to get home. The small, warm room behind the kitchen is now my real home. I gave Thomas a hug and kissed him on the head. She let me shake her hand, and I held it for a moment. One more time, she said she was sorry. I told her I knew. I told her I was sorry and forgave her. I really meant it. I didn't feel heavy as I walked away from that house. I felt good. Alone, the anger had left me somewhere along the way. Something quieter took its place. Peace and thanks for the strange road that brought me here. I thought about the watch that got lost. I remembered the long night on the bench. I remembered the little bell on top of the shop door, and the smell of warm bread, and Nora's smile that wasn't rushed. When we lose something, we might feel like our lives are over, but sometimes giving up something helps us get something better. The city felt soft around me as I walked home in the evening light. Thanks for hearing me. Please like and subscribe to Cozy English Stories if this story made you feel good. You can find more stories like this one there.